Hey everyone, welcome back to Realpolitik. Today we are going to be talking about the latest developments in Ukraine for June the 10th, 2023. And before we start, make sure to like and subscribe and let's get right into it. All right, so the Ukrainian counteroffensive in Zaporizhia has been a complete and utter disaster. And what's remarkable is that the levels of cope I mean, there's copium is overflowing right now in the Twitter sphere and everywhere else. I mean, the cope is off the wall. It's reached critical levels, and I'm going to show you guys some of the messages I've received and read, unfortunately, and we're gonna look at some footage. So let's just look at some footage first of the latest disaster that's taking place in Ukraine. So there's been a few of these clips that have come out. These are just Ukrainian soldiers complaining about their situation. The Russians actually were saying, was it 2 days ago, they were talking about intercepting a radio conversation where a unit of Ukrainian soldiers want to, uh, did not want to attack the Russian lines. And it seems like it's true because, I mean, we see that Ukraine sustained a lot of losses. I'm going to show you that footage in a second, but yeah, these kind of videos, I think I've seen two of them just today. So, um, anyways, let's look at a column of Leopard tanks in Zaporizhia. So the artillery is hitting their positions, and some of these vehicles look abandoned already, but anyways, that's a direct hit right there. And that's burning. There's a lot of Leopard 2s. Um, Yesterday we saw Leopard 2 A4s. Today we've seen Leopard 2 A6s. We've also seen Bradleys today, Bradley infantry fighting vehicles, and we've also seen a lot of Max Pros in the last couple of days. Some BMPs, some mine clearing vehicles, but you can see all these vehicles all bunched up and just burning. Anyways, so oh yeah, this is in Uman in uh, in Ukraine, and the ammo depot was hit. And just take a look at this explosion. This is massive. Wow, man, that's just like a nuclear blast, almost like a little nuclear blast. Whoa. Anyways, that was in central Ukraine. I've highlighted it if I can find it. Where it? Okay, give me a second. Oh yes, here. Sorry guys. It's right here, Uman. Anyways, back to the videos. So this is a Ukrainian convoy, and we're gonna see some. Yeah, that's bad. No one's surviving that. They're burned to a crisp in that tank. Yeah, you gotta feel sorry for these guys. Like you see all this footage of destroyed Ukrainian vehicles. This is a Ukrainian prisoner. Maybe turn
Ні,
off.
Лей.
And the guy's basically, I mean, look at the guy's face. What a puppy face. You gotta feel sorry for these guys, right? But
Старший батальйон. А ти на якій дошці був на збройці?
that's the look of defeat right
Може,
there.
замість ти там лежить? Все добре, добре, пацан.
I'm not playing the sound. I don't want to get a copyright strike, or let's say they swear or something. YouTube finds any excuse to take you down. Um, yeah, so this is an FPV drone. These are drones that are used for racing that are modified, rigged with explosives. And there was a report like a month or two ago that Ukraine had bought 50,000 units, but saw that, right? Yeah, so Ukraine had bought 50,000 units, and but lately I've seen the Russians using them more. And today they've used a lot of them. Um, a Russian attack helicopter. No, not this stupid music. Okay, so I know this clip. Yeah, it's heading there. And it's going to, God damn it. Boom. I mean, that is a massive explosion. Yeah. Doesn't look good, guys. Doesn't look good. And just so you can see, the Ukrainians are not even making it to the first line of defense. Right here, this right here is the first line of defense. And the Ukrainians are just basically they're making little breakthroughs. They're able to take over little fields. Um, they're able to take over settlements right on the front for a very short period of time, but they cannot hold on to them, right? They are not able to hold on to any settlements that they can take, or even any fields. They just get annihilated. I mean, it's just sad, but uh one thing I don't get is Ukraine seems to be sending them in small groups. Like they'll send like 20 or 50 armored vehicles and tanks, and then they'll send another 20 or 50. And then, I mean, why don't they just go all in? They might as well just, I don't know. I don't know what's going on, but they're just being destroyed piecemeal by the Russians. And yeah, they don't seem to have a chance. I mean, so this right here, it's right around here, right? And yeah, I mean, it's just everything's going on in the line of contact. They're not even able to make it to the first line of defense, right? So that would be something like this based on that map. I mean, this would be where the first line is, and that would be something like almost 9.5, 6 miles away. But yeah, they're not able to make it there. They can't even get there, right? The Russian artillery and the air power, the helicopters, and that's if they make it past the mines. They're not even, there's no tank battles. They can't even make it that far. They can't even, a lot of them get destroyed by mines, right? A lot of them get destroyed by ATGMs, now FPV drones today. Um, and yeah, um, wrong folder. Okay, let's take a look at this footage. More destroyed Ukrainian armor. And yesterday there was a lot shown up. But yeah, actually, this video it shows allegedly showing Russian troops withdrawing from the field. And this, what some Ukrainian pro-Ukrainian fanboys were saying is, well, look, we had a victory. Look, it's not all bad. But that armor right there, that's like sitting on the side, you can see. I don't think that armor is Russian, because if it was, the Ukrainians would have obviously taken pictures, showed it off. So I'm not sure what's happening here. I think I don't know. Maybe they destroyed a bunch of Ukrainian armor, and then they were ordered to withdraw. Maybe a large Ukrainian contingent was coming forward, and they were low on ammo. You never know, but I mean, it's a tactical withdrawal, right? I mean, it might not look good. They might get a radio call, get the hell out of there now, right? And then that's what it looks like. But um, yeah, anyways, so German media, they've admitted that their Leopard tanks have been destroyed. And then this is Putin. Yesterday, he met up with Lukashenko, the leader of Belarus. Putin, Russia's moving nukes into Belarus. Belarus, of course, means White Russia. Uh, they speak the same language. And yeah, I mean, Belarus has been under a lot of pressure from the EU lately with sanctions and whatnot. But Russia's supplying them with a lot of hardware, and they're moving nukes into Belarus. And so lately, because of this counteroffensive, the way it's gone, you're hearing NATO talk about maybe they're going to let some members send troops into Ukraine. Like I'm thinking Poland, Romania, or something. Or, not Hungary, but maybe Poland, Romania, and some Baltic states might send troops into Ukraine. If they send troops, that's one thing, right? But armor's one thing, right? But artillery's another. But if they actually use jets, fighter jets, those fighter jets are going to be destroyed. And even if they send artillery and troops, I mean, they're pretty much a party to the war. Russia could attack them, and that might be actually a trap. They might want Russia to do that so that all of NATO can get involved. But just the fact that they have to talk about this now, I mean, it just shows that it's, in my mind, a sign of desperation. Also, you're hearing about Ukraine. Ukraine, they've reached out to Russia now, and they're saying that they might be willing to negotiate like a peace treaty if Russia changes the terms that they've established, like demilitarizing Ukraine, denazifying Ukraine, blah blah blah. So at this point in time, I don't think it's really a good idea for Russia to do that. I mean, who knows? They might. I don't know. But here's the thing: if Russia does that, if they you know allow if they allow uh, like sign a peace treaty, right, and then Ukraine gets to keep its military, right, and join NATO. I mean, they're going to get F-16s. They're going to get more HIMARS. They're going to build more. They're going to build all kinds of new weapons and missiles, and they're going to get more Leopard tanks, more advanced tanks. They're going to have time to train. And then Russia's going to have a very serious problem on its hands, right? It's going to be a lot more difficult for Russia to deal with Ukraine, right? Uh, so I don't think it would be prudent for Russia to end this because they're already in the conflict. The sanctions are already input. They're already in the thick of it. I don't think it makes sense for Russia to give in now. It just doesn't make sense, right? But anyways, enough talking. Look at some more footage of destroyed Leopards and Bradleys. There's just so much of this footage. It's just unbelievable. This is just artillery strikes. Maybe skip forward. Oh, that was a direct hit. Oh, man. See all that artillery, and then one of them, that's a direct hit. And the thing is, some people are saying, well, these are not the latest versions or the best versions of the Leopard tank and Bradley, but whatnot. But oh, here comes the good part. But look, man, an artillery piece hits, artillery shell hits any tank, any armored vehicle, it's done. See, that is a Leopard 2A6, Bradley. Um, see the ramp? It's a Bradley. Leopard 2A6 Bradley. Mine clearing vehicle, I think. Another Bradley, maybe. Yeah, this. And the track came off right there. This is a disaster for the Ukrainians, man. This is very, extremely embarrassing for the Ukrainians. Like some people thought, oh, the Leopards, the Western technology is so superior to Soviets. We're Russian garbage, and they're going to come and just sweep them aside. One Leopard's going to destroy like 10 Russian tanks. They don't stand a chance. And I knew all along. I mean, you guys, if you watch my videos, you know, like, I don't know what to say, man. Like, Ukraine, I think they should have negotiated with Russia. And the White House actually recommended they do right after the Kharkiv and Kherson offensives. I think they might have been able to get better concessions out of the Russians, but now, I mean, the Russians hold all the cards, right? Um, yeah, I mean, the Kharkiv offensive, some people are like thinking, hey, why is Ukraine getting annihilated now? How come in the Kharkiv offensive they're so successful? Well, um, that's pretty simple because during Kharkiv, you know, during Kharkiv, the Ukrainians had a massive numerical advantage over the Russians, something like 5-1, right? Or more, some people say. And what ended up happening is that that was exactly 6 months after the start of the war, okay? Started in February, so February, March, April, May, June, July, August, right? So that's pretty much 6 months. So it was in August and September, right? The counteroffensive in Kharkiv and Kherson. But basically, why is 6 months significant? Because all the Ukrainians mobilized from day one, right? By by 6 months in, they claimed 1 million, but most analysts think Ukraine had 600 to 800,000 troops by that point. The Russians, on the other hand, 6 months, that was the term of their contracts for their professional soldiers. They were on 6 month contracts because the Russians thought the war would last a few weeks. So the professional soldiers were on 6 month contracts. So 6 months comes around, and what happens is a lot of the soldiers, the Russian professional soldiers, they opt out. And that left a huge power vacuum, like a gaping hole that was really obvious to the Ukrainians and everyone, NATO, in Kharkiv especially. The front lines were lightly manned by kind of like you know DPR forces, LPR for like Luhansk People's Republic, Donetsk People's Republic militias, and the Ukrainians built up their forces and just rushed them, and the Ukrainians sustained significant losses, but the Russians were outnumbered and they just withdrew. But since then a lot has changed. The Russians are um, they've basically found their niche when it comes to like drones. I mean, the Shawheads and the Lancets are a perfect combination. And then you have, the Fab 500 bombs, right? And those are just devastating. They're dumb bombs, which the Russians have, with conversion kits, turned into modernized. They've turned them into GPS guided gliding bombs. So, I mean, they have more than 1,000 pounds of payload. So, I mean, just with a combination of all that, the Russians are basically devastating Ukrainian lines. The Russians, when they started this war, they didn't think it would be an actual war. They thought it would be like something like Crimea in 2014. They thought they would just force the Ukrainians to the negotiating table. And it turned into a war, right? So it took a while for Russia to get their shit together. But when they did, now they have. And anyways, here's some pictures up close. Um, Another picture up close. Take a look at this. I think this is from the minesweeping equipment on the front of it. Yeah, it just got blown off. Wow. And another angle. Wow. Some people are shocked, but oh yeah. So what happens is today the Ukrainians wanted to retrieve their vehicles, so they sent 5 Bradleys, and the Bradleys got destroyed. Like, yeah, I think the Russians were smart. They didn't bother going and retrieving the Leopard. They used it as bait, and the Ukrainians went to retrieve it in broad daylight, and they got annihilated. And some people are, I knew this was going to happen because there's no such thing as an invincible weapon. There's no such thing as an invincible army. I mean, the British Empire, the biggest empire the world had ever seen, they lost at certain points. They were, their armies were annihilated at certain points. The Romans, they got completely annihilated at certain points. I mean, there's no such thing as an invincible army or an invincible weapon. In Iraq and Afghanistan, the Americans had every conceivable advantage. That's why they were successful. Combined arms, the training. One American soldier famously said, if we had the T-72s, we would have won because of our motivation and our training. It would have been harder, but he really thinks they would have won. The Iraqis, they weren't in it. Their heart wasn't in it. So, you know, we saw in Afghanistan, motivation is a primary factor because when it comes to modern warfare, right? Anything in life, actually, because you saw the Taliban were arguably outnumbered. They were going on the offensive. They should outnumber the defenders 3-1. The defenders had better weapons, right? The Afghan army had brand new rifles. The Taliban had rusty AKs. Not anymore, but they did. Um, what else can I say? Like, I mean, I don't know. Like the Afghans had an air force, not much of an air force, but it was an air force. The Taliban didn't have an air force, but motivation matters a lot. This, yeah, the Russians destroying a Ukrainian command post with a Lancet drone. Today is one of the worst days for the Ukrainians. I'm telling you, all the footage I'm seeing, like it's just insane. Like, oh man, yeah, that's that. Avdiivka area, FPV drone. You know what? I'm gonna skip this one. Let's go to this one. Zaporizhia again. More destroyed Ukrainian equipment. A lot of them are hitting mines or they're just getting hit by artillery, ATGMs. They're not even, the thing is, they're not even making it to the first line of defense. There's like 5 lines of defense. They're not even getting close. Yeah, that was kind of dumb. That video just showed some abandoned junk. More abandoned. This has been abandoned. Smoke is coming out of it. You can see it barely, but then we're gonna look at this one. These just came out like within last 2 hours, I think. Abandoned vehicles. Yeah, just this is a disaster. Yeah. Look at all the pop marks from the artillery. These are some Ukrainian troops. I think they're taking off. I think they're retrieving a body. Yeah, and they're going to the back of the Bradley and they take off. Yeah. So this is an FPV drone in Zaporizhia. Boom. Let's see that again. I think that was a transport truck for the Ukrainian military. Transport truck, I think. Something, yeah. But yeah, you see what happens after. Okay, this is after two of them are destroyed. Now there's a little. Is that a Humvee? I don't know what that is, but no, that's not a Humvee. It's a military truck and it's destroyed. These FPV drones, they're pretty cheap. They're a couple hundred to 1,000 or 2,000 each. Rig them with explosives and that's it. That was the second truck. Oh, this is FPV drones in Zaporizhia destroying a tank. Let's watch that again. So destroying a Ukrainian T-72. And then, oh boy. Yeah. This is not going well for the Ukrainians, man. Like, yeah, it's not going well. And I'm going to show you some messages that people are posting online, but I mean, some people are in denial. Like, I don't know if these are children or grown men, but some people are just in denial. Like, some of the shit you hear is just wacky. Boom. MRAP Max Pro. I posted this on my Twitter, by the way, so I'll post my Twitter below. There's a lot of things I can't post on YouTube that gets posted on Twitter, but anyways, Bradley. The hell is this? Okay, I don't know what the hell happened there. What was that? I don't know. But that's crazy how these drones, for such a cheap price, um, you know, oh, this is what we saw already. Yeah. But for such a cheap price, for like a couple $100 each, and then you rig them with explosives, boom, man, that's insane. Yeah, you can see what happened, the end result. That's yeah. Something else to mention. Odessa. Yeah, what the hell else, man? Get rid of this. Odessa, the Russians launched missile attacks, uh, or sorry, Shawhead drones. And I'll show you something. So, more explosions reported in Odessa. More. Okay. 3 people wounded. And then what did they say here? A few hours later, South Operative Command. All Shawhead drones were shot down in Odessa. Debris crashed a residual house and exploded, killing 3 and wounding 10. So if all the drones were shot down, how were there more explosions reported? I don't get it, but maybe missiles caused the explosions, not the drones. I don't know, giving them the benefit of the doubt. Um, but then there was also some explosions in areas north of Crimea. We're going to take a look at some of this. Odessa and Crimea. So north of Crimea, this is what we're looking at. The Russians apparently did this, according to the Ukrainians. Wait, is that right? That's Russian-controlled territory. Why are the Ukrainians saying the Russians did this? I don't know what's going on, but that's let's read it actually. What the hell? Reported this morning explosions. Okay. So this was the Ukrainians then. The target of the Russians? I'm confused. Because I thought it said okay, anyways. Ukrainians hit the Russians, I guess. Anyways, this is what the Russians did to Odessa. There's a big crater there. I don't know if you can see it. There's a massive crater there. Yeah, Odessa. They're saying some debris hit a building. Yeah, could be. Debris. And this is Ukrainian air defense. I mean, it kind of reminds me of when the Iraqis were shooting at US jets during the Iraq war, hopelessly trying to shoot them down. I mean, uh, sometimes it lands. I don't know. Guess. Yeah, the Russians are saying Ukrainian. See, that's a Ukrainian air defense missile. The Russians are saying it misfired and landed on the residential building, and that looks like it. Sure looks like it. If this is Odessa, this is being launched from the ground and it comes back down, right? So, anyways, hope they don't arrest the guy who posted that. Shawhead debris, Odessa. You gotta feel bad for the residents. I mean, you're sitting on your couch and then debris of a drone from Iran comes and slaps you in the head or something. Oh my God. What has the world come to, man? What has the world come to? Wow. Odessa, right? Anyways, never mind Odessa. So one thing is the Iris T, right? When it was destroyed yesterday, a lot of people are saying, no, it's not even real because like people are actually saying this. They're saying it's not real because why would it not be camouflaged? It's a $200 million system. It's not even camouflaged. Here, let's take a look at that footage again. Turn off this crap music. I don't know, these Russian videos have all this weird music. But yeah, you can see how in the beginning it zooms in on the launcher, right? And then, but what they focus on after is the radar because multiple launchers require one radar. And some people saying this was the only radar Ukraine had. But the person operating this drone he knew that the radar is what matters, is what's vital. And it's the Lancet going in and boom. And you can see smoke rising from there. And these guys are taking off. So why would a decoy have a crew, that much of a crew? And why would they be taking off like that if so obviously the impact was such that, the crew felt like they were in danger and they wanted to take off, right? Which they did. Look how they take off. And then you know what's funny? Look at this guy's son. Look at this guy. Wait, look at this guy sunbathing. Wait. Look at this guy sunbathing. Oh my God. Look at him. He's looking back like, oh no, mommy, help me. Oh my God. Look at him. He's looking back like, he's about to jump off, man. Oh my God, man. Poor guy. Poor guy. But anyways, people are like, yeah, it has to be a decoy. It's not even painted. It's painted white. Well, it's not white. That's just the video quality or whatever. It's just look. This is actually the Iris T made in Germany from Germany. It's not white. It's tan, but in the video maybe it looks like off white. But People are like, why didn't they paint it with camo? Because I don't know, maybe you need to take it hard and do that. They didn't want to, and it has its own camo you see here, right? But um I don't know, it has like this desert pan camo, off white desert pan camo, but I don't know. I don't know if that would have made a difference. Maybe it would have, but anyways, some Ukrainian pundits are like, no, it's not real. It's not real. You can see in this picture, like, it's tan, man. It's tan. This is not a decoy. Like, it's so obvious that it's not a decoy. Like, come on, man. You think that's a balloon? Like a fuck. People are retarded. Anyways, this is some of the messages. If these Ukrainian units being shown here, why are they attacking from south to north? They're referring to this video, which I showed you guys yesterday. But this video, what indication does he have that it's from south to north? That's what I'm wondering. Like, where does he get the idea that they're attacking from south to north? Because obviously they have to go south to attack the Russian lines, but does he see them going like upwards and he assumes that's north? And I try to explain it to this guy. I'm like, dude, like roads don't just go one way. This is not a video game, right? Like sometimes like you have to go east and then north and then it goes south. Like it curves, the road curves like but there's no indication of which direction anything is in this video. Just because they're heading up doesn't mean they're heading north instead of, south towards the Russian lines. Doesn't make any people are just I don't know. Anyways, Rybar reports that Russian forces have lost a number of positions in the Rabotino-Verbovoye area after Ukraine concentrated their offensive on a single point there last night. Yeah, I mean, this has happened a couple of times throughout the last few days. Started on what, Sunday? 6 days. It's been 6 days now since they started their counteroffensive. So the Ukrainians take some positions, they take some fields, or they end up taking some settlement, and then the Russians hit them with artillery, the mines wreck them, ATGMs, and then the Russians counterattack and take it back. This has been the theme, ongoing, repeating over and over. And look, what counteroffensive failed? Ha ha ha! Clown face. Ha ha! See, the counteroffensive hasn't failed. They moved forward and took a part of a field. Like, fuck sakes, man. Like, really? I don't know what to tell people like this. What can you even say to them? Like, oh man, one Leopard tank possibly destroyed means the counteroffensive failed. What logic is that? If that's your logic, then I guess Russia's completely f***ed. This other guy's like, I've seen figures of 30 tanks and 60 armed personnel carriers, 4,000 men. Well, that's what Russia said, but um, it's not one Leopard tank, and at one point it was one or two Leopard tanks and a few dozen other armored vehicles, but now it's like quite a few Leopard tanks. But anyways, you also have to understand that what you're seeing in the videos, that's not everything. That's not the entirety of what's happening on the ground. That's just like one video. Like there's battles that have taken place for freaking 12 hours, okay? 12 hours at a time. All right. So I just like I don't know, like people are thinking that what you see in a video, that's everything. And if you don't see it on video, then it didn't happen. Like, I don't know. I don't know what to say. I don't know what to say to people like this. Anyways, comrade, their counteroffensive hasn't started. Those are merely probing actions by the Ukrainians. Do you follow the war on our Telegram channels, right? No. Counter probing action doesn't go on for 6 days, and like you don't sustain losses like this. Like you don't sustain this in a probing action on like the sixth day. That's so ridiculous, man. I don't know what the heck. Confirmation bias, man. This isn't the counteroffensive. If it's even real and not fake, Russia would crap. It's just a small probe to test the Russian defenses. What? Like, are we in the same universe? Time space continuum? Like, what is this? What is this? The part that was supposed to the front of the front that was of the minesweeping vehicle got blown off, man. Like, here's the minesweeping vehicle. Where's the it's just you can't even see it in this shot. Somewhere here. You can't see it, it's way back there. Like, my God. Anyways, man, I don't know what to even say to these people. They can fake it well enough to keep US money coming. Ukraine don't have to be in those tanks. What? What? It's a probing attack. And then it's a probing attack and then minus 42. And then since then they've made this meme. It's like minus like 70 or 90 now. I don't even know. I said Ukrainian forces have gotten annihilated. Whether you like it or not, it is what it is. By the way, my Twitter is at Mr. Underscore geopolitics. This guy says your statement is ridiculous nonsense. Russia's lines have been broken and Russians are fleeing. So Russians' lines have been broke. Russia's lines have been broken and Russians are fleeing. Like, do we live in the same? Like, is he living in an alternate universe? I don't. I just don't know what to say to these people. This isn't the counter of Desert Dog. This isn't the counteroffensive. If it's even real and not fake. Oh yeah, I showed you. Anyways, Ukrainian Defense Minister Alexei Reznikov said that Ukraine is ready for negotiations. Oh, really? And a peace agreement if Russia changes the previously declared goals of the special military operation. Look at him. Look at his smug face. Like, we're fucked. We're fucked. No Zaluzhny, no Buddha. Buddha now. Yeah, so Zaluzhny, they said that he was hit with a missile strike, and it's been like 3 weeks, and he's appeared once. And some people are saying that he's badly injured, and that was him in the hospital. I don't even know. You guys can look into that if you want, but they showed a clip of him, but we don't know if it's brand new. But anyways, I think he's fine, but he might be injured because but Buddha now, um, they're saying he's dead. Buddha now, he's a Ukrainian, the Ukrainian spy chief who kept threatening Russia. So he hasn't appeared in a long time. As Zaluzhny, he used to be around like every day, every other day. Uh, he's not around really. I think he got injured and Budanow's dead. Look, Ukraine advertises counteroffensive in an ad that depicts soldiers armed with NATO equipment breaking the Russian lines with the element of surprise. And it's this whole thing about like, stay quiet, don't say anything. And now this has turned into the biggest meme ever. Look, we're gonna watch this. Azov, Kraken, and the right sector are Nazis, but not a word about it. The armed forces of Ukraine sells weapons on the black market, but not a word about it. There will be no counteroffensive, but not a word about it. Well, yeah, there was a counteroffensive. We fucked up. Don't tell anyone. We fucked up. Don't tell anyone. Yeah, Ukraine's really been silent since this started. It's a disaster, man. Yeah, again, tactical advances, but they can't hold on to anything. Like they haven't made it to the first line of defense. So yeah, I showed you guys this. Basically, they tried to retrieve those vehicles, and more Bradleys got destroyed. But this basically shows you exactly what happened. So the 5 Bradleys. So these are two different pictures right here. The halfway down, that's the halfway point. You can see how if you look closely, you can see that it's picture here, and these lines are pointing to these armored vehicles and tanks here. The top, this is this is this. So these 5 tried to retrieve this, they got destroyed. Anyways, guys, that's it for today. So if you watched till the end, thank you, and please like and subscribe, and I will see you guys in the next one.